Welcome dear students to the second session of our chapter 5, that is mineral and energy resources. Now the topic we are going to discuss here today is that is non-ferrous minerals or metals. Now the question comes, what are non-ferrous minerals? Non-ferrous minerals are those minerals in which iron content is not there. In which iron content is not there. You can see a non-ferrous metal is any metal including alloys that does not contain iron in its appreciable amount. In the appreciable amount, they are generally more expensive than ferrous minerals or metals. Non-ferrous metals are used because of their ferrous properties in them, as for example low weight, high conductivity, non-magnetic property and resistance to corrosion. Okay, the examples of low weight is aluminium, higher conductivity is copper, non-magnetic property and resistance to corrosion is zinc. Okay, so we can say that India has very few reserves of non-ferrous, whereas we have lots of reserves in ferrous. Okay, we are a little bit deficient in non-ferrous minerals, we can say. The examples of it can be copper, zinc, gold, lead, bauxite, etc. etc. Now, as according to our NCERT, we are going to discuss the major two non-ferrous minerals. The one is copper and the other is bauxite. Okay, the one is copper and the other one is bauxite. Now, coming to copper, we can say that it is an important mineral due to its excellent electrical conductivity. Fine. It is one of the important minerals due to its excellent electrical conductivity. Whatever wires you see at your place, at home, in the school or wherever, that has copper in it. Why? Because of its excellent conductivity, it is being used here. Other than that, there are three other properties of the copper that are mentioned in your NCERT, but not defined well. They are malleable, ductile and good conductor. Malleable, ductile and excellent conductor. Fine. Coming to it, let's have a short explanation of it. What does malleable means now? Malleable actually means that when a metal can be beaten up into thin sheets. When a metal can be beaten up into thin sheets, it is called malleable. Then comes ductile. Ductile means whenever metal can be drawn into thin wires. When a metal can be drawn into thin wires, it is called ductile. So we can say that copper has both the properties of being ductile and malleable. Fine. Other than this, when we come to its uses, it is used in manufacturing of electrical cables. You can see here on the board, electrical fittings and wires, printed circuit boards, tips of soldering iron, domestic water pipes, cylinders, utensils, decorative ornaments. Okay, so majorly used in manufacturing of electrical cables, electronic and chemical industry to produce other compounds. Okay, I hope you are clear with the uses of it. Then comes produced in Khetri mines in the Rajasthan district of Balghat. You can say that where it is found. It can come as a 1 mark question. It is found in the Balghat mines in Madhya Pradesh, Balghat mines in Madhya Pradesh, Khetri mines in Rajasthan and Singhbhum district of Jharkhand. These are the leading producers of copper. Okay, I hope copper is clear to you all. Moving to the next slide is bauxite. Now the question has arrived bauxite. That is a 3 mark question. Explain the formation of bauxite and name the metal obtained from it. Again, I'll repeat the question. Explain the formation of bauxite and name the metal obtained from it. The formation is of 2 marks and metal obtained is of 1 mark here, we can say. So, actually what is bauxite here? Now, bauxite is used for obtaining alumina also and take later aluminium. Used for obtaining alumina, that is later aluminium. Now, what is alumina? Alumina is generally a common name given to aluminum oxide. Okay, alumina is the common name given to aluminum oxide. Actually, alumina is produced from bauxite. Okay, and ore. From the bauxite and ore, and that is mined from the topsoil. In various tropical and subtropical regions. Okay, so you can say that to produce pure alumina is smelted. To produce pure alumina is smelted, and this process is referred as a primary production. Fine. Now, it is used. We can say that aluminum is a metal, and it's a very important metal. Why it is an important metal? Because nowadays iron is replaced in many places, in many areas, by aluminum and steel. Okay, because of its lightweight. Fine. So you can say that it is used for obtaining aluminium that is formed by decomposition of rocks rich in aluminium silicate. Okay, bauxite is used for obtaining aluminium that is formed by decomposition of rocks rich in aluminium silicate. Fine. Now, it is a clay-like substance from which aluminium is extracted first, and then aluminium becomes aluminium, as already discussed with you above. Fine. Then later, aluminum is known for its strength and lightness. Okay, known for its strength and lightness, and because of it is used widely in manufacturing of steel, that is utensils, and electrical goods. I hope it is clear the use of bauxite here. Fine. Come to the next point. That is, where is it generally found? Bauxite is generally found in the Amarkantak Plateau. Okay, in the Amarkantak Plateau, Maikal Hills, and the plateau region of the Bilaspur, Katni in Madhya Pradesh. You have to remember these areas because these can come as a question. Where is bauxite found? So bauxite is generally found in the Maikal Hills, the plateau region of the Bilaspur, Katni in Madhya Pradesh. It can come for the marking in the map as well. Orissa is the largest producer of bauxite producing state in India, that is in the year 2016-17. So as according to the year 2016-17, Orissa is the largest producer of bauxite in the country. Panchpatmali deposits in the Koraput district is the most important center of bauxite deposits in Orissa. Okay, so let's come to the chart here. We can see that you can have the same chart in your NCERT textbook as well. So maximum, there is 49% of the bauxite is found in Orissa. Then in Gujarat 24%, Jharkhand, followed by Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, and 2% from the other regions. So majorly we can say that Orissa is the largest producer of bauxite, followed by Gujarat, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, and other regions. Fine. Okay. Coming to the next topic, that is, now comes, what are non-metallic minerals? Okay, what are non-metallic minerals? You can say that non-metallic minerals are minerals that have no metallic luster and break easily. These are also called industrial materials, and that typically form some of the sediments. Non-metallic minerals are not malleable here. Okay, like as you seen, metallic are the malleable. These are non-malleable. Non-metallic minerals or rocks are limestone, magnesite, domalite, phosphorite, talc, quartz, mica, clay, silica sand, gemstone, decorative and dimension stones, constructive materials, etc. are the common non-metallic minerals. Fine. Moving ahead, in non-metallic minerals, the first one that we are going to cover is mica. Okay, now what is mica and how it is formed? Now mica is a mineral made up of series of plates or leaves split easily into thin sheets. Okay, mica is made up of series of plates or leaves. It can easily split into thin sheets. Fine. Then these sheets can be so thin that 1,000 can be layered into a mica sheet of few centimeters high. Imagine, these sheets can be so thin that thousands can be layered into a mica sheet of few centimeters. Now we can see that mica can be clear black, green, red, yellow or brown as according to the region we found it. Okay, it can be clear, black, green, red, yellow or brown in color. Now where is it used? It is used in electrical and electronic industry due to its dielectric strength, insulating properties and resistance to high voltage. Fine. Now when we come here, there are few questions that originate from this topic, non-metallic minerals. The first question comes here is, give an example of non-metallic mineral. It can come for 1 mark. So non-metallic minerals can be already discussed with you. Mica. What are the others already discussed? These can be. So just comment it in comment and tell me the answer, that what are the various examples of non-metallic minerals other than mica. Okay. So the other question can come here of 3 marks can be, name the non-metallic minerals which can split into thin sheets. Okay, thin, that is mica. And again, mention its uses. So you have to write 2 uses for it and 1 name of the mineral that can be split into thin sheets of mica and 2 of its properties and uses. Fine. Now third question can be, why is mica considered as the most important mineral in the electric and electronic industry? So why it is so? It is so because of its excellence. You can find the answer here. See, it can be, mica is considered as the most important mineral in the electric and electronic industry because of its excellent dielectric strength, low power loss factor, okay, and insulating properties and resistance to high voltage. Okay, because of this, it is being used in the electrical and electronic industries. Fine. So these are some questions that can come in related to this topic, non-metallic minerals and mica. Fine. Coming to the next one here. Now, where is mica found? Fine. Where is mica generally found? So its deposits are mainly found in the northern edge of the Chota Nagpur Plateau. In the northern edge of the Chota Nagpur Plateau, Koderma Gaya Hazaribagh belt of Jharkhand is the leading producer of mica. Okay, Koderma Gaya Hazaribagh belt of Jharkhand is the leading producer of mica. In Rajasthan, the major mica producing area is around Ajmer. In Rajasthan, the major mica producing area is around Ajmer. Nellore mica belt of Andhra Pradesh is also famous. Okay, Nellore mica belt of Andhra Pradesh is also an important producer of mica in the country. So here we come with the end of topic mica. Fine. Now we come to the next topic, that is rock minerals. Now, what are rock minerals? So we don't have much mentioned here regarding the rock minerals in our textbook, but we can see that only one mineral is mentioned here, and that is limestone. Okay, so let's move to the next topic, that is rock minerals, which include limestone. So some of the rocks have only, you can say that, see, yeah, so some of the minerals, okay, some of the rocks have only one kind of minerals and some have more than one kind of minerals, correct? So it is found not in igneous and metamorphic. Limestone is found in the sedimentary rocks. It is not found in the igneous or metamorphic, but found in the sedimentary rocks. So look at the other features of limestone. It is used in the smelting of iron ore in the blast furnace of the steel plant. Okay, it is used in the in the smelting of iron ore in the blast furnace of the steel plant. Now it is also as it is composed of calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate. It is also used in the chemical industry. You can also find that limestone is used in the manufacturing of cement. Fine. So first point, that it is found in sedimentary rocks. is composed of calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate. So it is used in the chemical industries. Is also used in the manufacturing of cement. Fine. Moving to the next one. Now we have one important question here that is left. We have a question here that differentiate between metallic and non-metallic minerals. This question usually comes in 3 or 5 marks. Okay, so we have mentioned here as according to the 5 marks. Differentiate between metallic and non-metallic minerals. So first point that they contain metal into it. They do not contain metal into it. Fine, iron. Then we have generally associated with the igneous rocks. Okay, and non-metallic in the sedimentary rocks. They usually hard and have this shine of their own. They're not very hard and have no shine of their own. Examples of it can be iron, copper, bauxite and tin. Example of it are salt, copper, mica and clay. These are good conductors of heat electricity, good insulators of heat and electricity. So you have to remember this question. It can come for 3 or 5 mark differentiation. Fine. Now, okay, so moving to the next one here now. We have a next topic here that is hazards of mining. Now, it is an important question that generally comes for in the exam. We have found this question generally. Now, we should be aware that okay, now hazards of mining, that is no natural light. Now what are the reasons why is mining known as the killer industry, or it can come as a question, what are the hazards of mining? Fine. So the answer can be here that you can see no natural light inside the mines make working tougher. Okay, risk to life due to collapse of roof, overflow of water, fire is always there. Slurry from mines damage the farmland and the roads around related to the environment. Causes respiratory diseases and pulmonary disorders to the miners. Now let us discuss a bit in detail here. Now when we go to the pulmonary diseases, when it comes, so what is that is related to respiratory diseases. You can say pulmonary diseases are related to the respiratory problems. So the dust and the noxious fumes inhaled by the miners make them vulnerable to the pulmonary diseases. Fine. Second comes the risk of collapsing mine roofs. Inundation and fires in coal mines are the constant threat to miners. Second point. First is the pulmonary diseases. Second is risk of collapsing mine roof. Fine. Now it is related to the individuals. This next goes with how it pollutes the nature around. Fine. The water resources in the region get contaminated due to mining. Dumping of waste and slurry leads to degradation of land, soil and increase in the stream and river pollution. And then even many measures are taken by the government. There are strict measures taken by them too. Many of them are not followed, and because of it has turned, or we can say mining has turned to be a killer industry. Fine. So I hope these topics are clear to you. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe. Have a good day. God bless you all.